So I've been in the fly fishing game for the past 10 plus years. I've been competitive fly fishing for the past 8 years, and I have learned a lot of things along the way in regards to what flies that I should be using. Now, I've researched thousands of fly patterns over these years, and I have discovered that you only need about 10. It doesn't matter necessarily the pattern itself, it's how you fish it, but it does come into play when situations like in the summer where fish start getting a little bit specific of what they want. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the top 5 fly patterns that no one talks about. And I'm going to share with you exactly what I use on a day-to-day basis in the summer. Alright, let's get into it. So the first fly pattern that I'm going to mention, and I'm going to have a slideshow down below in the corner here, and the first fly that I'm going to mention is called the Turbo Midge. It is an extremely easy fly pattern, and it imitates almost exactly like the Zebra Midge. But it's a little bit different. It has a little bit more flash, but there's little differences can make the whole difference when you're out there fly fishing. So to give some detail on the fly, it has a slim profile, and it cuts down through the water really quick. Also too, midges work year-round. It doesn't just work just in the summer. And it's a great all-around fly pattern that you should have in your fly box. But also too, when conditions are super low, for example, just like in the summertime, it is great for when using dry dropper systems. It's a super light fly, usually most of the time, and is great for those conditions. And overall, using a midge in general, just a Zebra Midge itself, is a great fly pattern just to use all around. Make sure that that fly pattern is in your fly box. Alright, let's get to the next one here. BWO Perdigun pattern. So I already have a how-to video how to fly tie a BWO Perdigun. I'll have it on the top corner here of the video. Basically, it's a mix between a Perdigun and with some extra variation of flash. The good thing about this fly is that it sinks really fast and it cuts through the water, and it doesn't make a huge splash sound, which might scare off the fish. This fly works really well with the single nymph system, either if you're fishing riffles or you're fishing a fast run. Also during the summer, BWOs are always hatching consistently throughout the summertime, and I also just think it just works well overall. So going away from nymphs, we're going to get into actually a dry fly called the Puff Daddy. This Puff Daddy pattern is so essential. Actually, I should be doing a video on this shortly. And it is just a great fly pattern overall, either if you're using a single dry fly or you're using it as a dry dropper. The number one thing why I like this fly is because it does not sink over time. You could just literally whip it a couple of times in the air, just make some basic blank casts in the air, and it'll literally dry off just like that. And you barely even need any floating at all for it. But never forget to use dry flies during the summer. Things can happen very fast, either when you're fishing in the morning and they're just hitting nymphs or emergers, and then come when the sunshine hits the water and hatches start coming off. This is great using it as a single dry fly, but also as a dry dropper. Do not forget that. So the next fly coming up is actually quite different, and I don't think it's publicized as much as it should be, and that is the Dark Knight Tide by Howard Croston. This fly is so essential in my fly box now. I just started fishing with it this year. I tend to use this fly most of the time when I know that hatches are happening and emergers are popping. Basically, this fly has a CDC collar which imitates that pupa emerger. This fly works really well for conditions that are super low, but also I noticed that it works really well when things are overblown. The black silhouette of the fly is so essential, either if you're using it for just midges or even if during the summer, which I think why it works so well is because it imitates almost like an ant pattern. But the good thing too about this fly is that if you have really skinny water and low water, it drops in the water very slowly. It's not like a Perdigun where it just shoots right to the bottom. It actually gradually goes toward the bottom, which might help you down the road, either if you're in low water conditions or when emergers are popping and you fish the midsection of the water. So besides that fly, the last fly I want to mention is actually kind of a rare fly, so keep this a secret. is Lobos Rosa's pink pheasant tail. And it is tied by one of the best fly fishermen in the world competitively. So this pink pheasant tail, it is basically a pheasant tail. And I want to say real quick, pheasant tails work year round. That fly should never leave your fly box. But here's the catch. The pink pheasant tail is a really quick pattern, but also too, it's different from the rest of the pheasant tails. It's more of an attractor, but that little difference in the fly pattern. And if the fish are presented with just normal pheasant tails all day long and just ignore it, this one might just catch their eye and they might just eat that more often. But also too, it is just great overall to have that fly in your fly box at all times, because this fly will catch you so many fish. I don't even know what to say from it. It's just a great fly. That is the top 5 fly patterns that I will be using this summer. And I have a competition coming up in the next coming week, and I will definitely be using these fly patterns during that competition. I promise you that. Alright, thank you everybody for watching. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments below. And if you want to share some of your top flies during the summer, please, I would like to know. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, stay fishy. Alright, catch you in the next video.